Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. Today I am working in my new Disciples Journal from By the Will for God. I've been reading this book from Crossway called The Heart of Jesus. This is a concise version of the book Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortland, and I have absolutely loved it so far. Today I am journaling from chapter 4 of this book, in which he speaks on Hebrews 4:15, which reads, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin." So although this verse is not found in the Silent Voices devotional, I still wanted to dress it up with some ephemera from this kit. So we're going to kind of go with a neutral theme. Last page I did was very bright with all my mild liners, and so this one we're keeping it kind of simple and neutral. I've just added a singular flower up there, and then Jessa really inspired me by breaking out her washi tape, and so I am doing the same here. I'll write out the verse using my Klena Energel pen on one of these labels, and I'll put it right down below the verse, and then we're just going to do some studying. So there's no rhyme or reason on what I'm studying necessarily. It's just all the things that I learned in this chapter. I mean, not all the things, because I wouldn't be able to fit it in this one page. But some of the things that stuck out to me, and also some things that I found on Blue Letter Bible. So if you haven't checked out that app before, I highly encourage you to do so. This is also the Digging Deep stamp, and you'll see me use that a lot today. I also used it a lot in my previous page, and I am just pulling out all the neutral stickers. So we have our tile alphas in this tan color. We have the big tile alphas in a gray. And then we also have our clear alpha stickers in that gray as well. So right here, I am writing a quote by Thomas Goodwin, who was a Puritan. He was quoted saying, "This verse lets us feel how his heart beats and his affections yearn toward us." In this chapter, Dane Ortland goes on to say, "But what exactly is Hebrews 4:15 saying? It's a deeply surprising verse. Notice the word weakness. We do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin." We tend to think that Jesus is with us and helping us when life is going well. That is surely true, but this text adds another truth. In a special way, it is in our weaknesses that Jesus sympathizes with us. In all our weaknesses, our fear, our anxiety, our loneliness, everything that makes us feel weak, Jesus sympathizes with us. So what exactly does sympathize mean in this verse? So right up here, I've written the Greek word for sympathize in this verse. It is Strong's number G4834, and it actually means to suffer with or to co-suffer. So not only is he sympathizing with us, but he is suffering alongside with us. Now, this is something that really has nothing to do with the verse or the book, but I wanted my notes to look a little bit more pretty, and the bottom quote down there by Thomas Goodwin was a little bit annoying to me because I just didn't like my handwriting. I prefer it to be like a little bit more bubble lettery, but it can take some time to do so. So since I am a visual learner and want everything to look pretty in my notes, that way I can remember stuff a little bit better and I'm more apt to look back on this page and study a little bit more, I decided to take that time to do so and make these a little bit thicker and more bubble letter-esque. Okay, so getting back to what is important here, I decided to grab this Digging Deep stamp out again because it has this wonderful little banner. I love how it looks when you fill it in with a mild liner. And so I'm spelling out sorrow with my Tombow Furunosuke brush pen. And I've included a little quote here by Ortland and how he concludes chapter 4. He's obviously talking about Jesus Christ here, and he says, "The sorrow that feels so unique to us was endured by him in the past and is now shouldered by him in the present." Once again, I want my letters to be a little bit thicker and bubble letter-ish, and so I'm taking my time doing that, and I'm also adding some tile alphas and clear alpha stickers to make some of these words pop that I find are really important in this quote. So at this point, I've pretty much gleaned everything from this chapter that I want to include in my notes. These chapters are nice and short and to the point, which I absolutely love. So in case you have just, a couple minutes at a time, you can get through a whole chapter easily. But now I'm going to turn my focus to studying with Blue Letter Bible. And I really love David Guzik's commentary. So I usually go to that commentary first, and then a lot of times I will also look at Spurgeon's as well. So in Spurgeon's notes, he talks about how a lot of times people will think, well, God doesn't really understand what's going on and he can't sympathize with me because he never sinned. And so he is quoted saying, "But listen to me. Do not imagine that if the Lord Jesus had sinned, he would have been any more tender toward you. For sin is always of a hardening nature. If the Christ of God could have sinned, he would have lost the perfection of his sympathetic nature." And clearly I couldn't fit that whole quote on a little label, and so I just drew my own little arrow and continued it right under the label, which actually kind of works because the important part to me was that second portion that says, if the Christ of God could have sinned, he would have lost the perfection of his sympathetic nature. And so that is something that I will highlight in a little bit. I also really enjoyed this little nugget I found. I'm using my Bible study bit stickers to add a little geotag right there. And my quote says, "To the ancient Greeks, the primary attribute of God was apatheia, the essential inability to feel anything at all. Jesus isn't like that. He knows and he feels what we go through." The ancient Greek word translated sympathize literally means to suffer along with, which is exactly what Dane Ortlund said in this chapter of the book. So that is basically all I can fit here on this page. I've really enjoyed doing my notes like this for my personal study. I hope you've enjoyed watching these videos. If you have, please give me a heart and follow me on this page. Also, you can check me out on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting and also on Facebook. I'll add everything I use down below in the description, and I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.